Hi, I'm Bart Hanson. I'm the owner and lead instructor for CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time every Monday. If you enjoy this video, hit that like button, and if you want to submit to be on the show, take a look at the information in the description.
So I'm at a private game in Singapore. It's 10-10. It's nine-handed. Effective stacks are at 25.50 for this hand. Five limbs.
So you're in Singapore?
I am.
Oh, and this is in the middle of the morning for you guys too. Oh, now I feel even worse.
It is.
Are you guys locked down? You guys haven't had that much issues with the coronavirus, have you? Are you in quarantine too?
No.
The country?
No.
No.
So not in Singapore. There has been a couple of border control measures put in place.
Yeah.
It's not as severe as what's happening in Malaysia and stuff like that.
Well, Malaysia's mostly Chinese, but there's a lot of Chinese in Singapore too, though, right? Ethnic Chinese.
Yeah, that's true. It's true, but I think the government's doing a really good job at just controlling the situation.
Did they have travel restrictions right away, like weeks ago? Something like that?
No, only recently.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, some countries are kind of banned from the country completely, like mandatory quarantines and stay-at-home notices and stuff like that. But yeah, things are relatively in control compared to a lot of the other places outside of the country.
South Korea, Italy, things like that. So it's 10-10, the equivalent of 10-10 no limit in a home game in Singapore, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's about 8 thereabouts.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
So it's nine-handed. Effective stacks are at 2,500.
Yep.
Thereabouts. 2.55K basically.
Okay.
5 limps to here on the cutoff. And so I made a mistake here. I thought I saw 3 limps. The table is huge. And I raised to 60 with queen of spades, jack of spades. And the blinds fold, the button fold, and I got 5 calls from UTG.
Okay.
I can exactly remember.
So 5 limpers in hero in the cutoff, you raise to 60 with queen of spades, jack of spades. You say the table's huge, like it's physically large, like it's like a baccarat table?
Yeah,
like you wouldn't see
exactly
anything.
Like physically.
Yeah, when I was doing when I did a lot of private lessons in China, I went to China. Some of you guys are new, but I've probably been to China 20 times between 2012 and 2016, which is partially the reason why I promoted PKC, because the owner of PKC was one of my original clients. So I know him, and I know the second in command. I knew the company was 100% straight. And it's actually one of the largest gaming companies in Asia. I don't know if Poker King offers services in Singapore or not off the top of my head, but I don't know. You've probably heard them if you live in Asia. But it's like the Win over there. They had to close their services here in the U.S., unfortunately, just because of some reasons where they couldn't offer gambling games, and the U.S. players are sort of killing the Chinese players, and it just didn't make sense for them to continue operations and offer it to North Americans without offering gambling games. That's why they stopped service, but they're thriving in Asia. Anyways, when I did all these lessons in China with this guy, like I remember some of these tables were just, it would be like playing on a craps table almost. Like where the rails would be like really high. It would be crazy. So I understand what you're saying. So you raise it to 60. Yeah. You raise it to 60 and you get 5 calls, right? Is that right?
5 calls, yeah.
Yeah. One of the other things too, and I don't know if they did this
early on in the game.
One of the other things too, and I don't know if they did it in this home game, is, and I tried to tell them, I'm like, why are you guys doing this? But they would take the bets in after every action. And I found it so confusing. So like if you raise to 60, first of all, like let's say that 5 people limped in. Okay, the guys would limp. They would take their bets in before it's your turn. Then you make it 65. You raise to 60. Okay, you raise to 60. Now they're taking your bets in. They wouldn't leave the action in front like they do in America until the end of the street. They'd take each action in, and you'd be like, what the fuck? So you wouldn't even know people who have cards, right? You don't even know who's in the hand.
You're right. Yeah.
You know? Because you can't see the chips in front of the people. So, anyway.
Especially if they're raises, like 3 bets and 4 bets.
Oh.
They bring in the initial bets in
Yeah, I don't know why.
infuriating.
I don't know why they do it. It's really, really hard. All right, so five callers. The pot's like 300 bucks or 360 or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
thereabouts. And the flop came queen of clubs, five of diamonds, seven of diamonds.
Queen of clubs, five of diamonds, seven of diamonds. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
It checks to me, and I bet big, like 300.
Well, this is really interesting here. I mean, I don't know how loose these guys are, right? Like, I mean, I remember in China, I could make a case for betting 300 here into 360, or even on PKC betting 300 into 360 here on a Queen 5-7 board because the players were so bad. But as long as you know the theory here that there's probably not going to be much betting six ways at all. Maybe you're going to be betting with your nut flush draws, some of your combo draws, some of your over pairs, maybe some of your ace queen with the ace of diamonds, and it would be for a very, very small sizing. It's a very extreme scenario, right? Six ways. That would be the theory. 50 to 75 would be the bet size theoretically. Try plugging this one into Monk or Solver, right? Six or seven ways, but that's what I would assume the theory would be. Would I check here against a bunch of guys that are V-pipping 80% of the time? Maybe not. 300 seems kind of large, but okay, so you bet 300.
And you're exactly right. I think the average VPIP on the table is probably 60,
Right,
60
right,
50%.
right, right. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's why it
that's
probably leans towards a bet, where people would be like, "How can you bet six ways?" But okay, so you bet 300. Yeah.
and only the villain in UTG calls.
So V1 calls, but who's UTG? But he did have a bunch of people left to act behind him, right? After you bet, like he still, like he calls. He's almost calling next to
Yep.
act, right? Or maybe there was somebody in the blinds.
Oh, no,
So
he is next to act.
he is next to act. Okay, so villain UTG calls next to act. Okay. So now the pot is like 960.
960. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And the turn comes the jack of clubs.
Okay. So now you have two pair, right?
I have two pair.
Mm-hmm.
So V1 checks. I
Yep.
bet 700 into like 960, and he jams for 2190 effective,
How much?
and that 2190.
2190
And that
total.
got
Total,
some.
right?
Yep. So
I remember you emailing me this in. So you bet 700 into 960. So the pot's 1660, and then he's jamming for about 2200, which would mean it would be about 3850, 1500 for you to call, basically, or 1490. I think I did that right. 3850, 1500 for
yep.
you to call. You're getting about 2.5 to 1. I mean, this is here's the thing, like if the guy's Chinese, I understand why you're thinking about this because it seems like it's insane that the guy would make this play with a semi bluff, right? Like, and they probably don't necessarily
Yeah.
play their bluffs this draw heavy. I mean, you have top two though, so you'd rather have top two here than aces or kings, right? And I'm sure I haven't looked at the chat that most people are saying it's a snap, and that would be my initial reaction here as well. When we take a quick look at it, we can say, well, you know, it's very, very under bluff spot. Does this guy he's just always going to show up with fives and sevens here, right? Like we can be like, oh my God, we have top two, but you know, doesn't matter because this guy's always got fives and sevens here no matter what, right? Is that what you're thinking basically?
Yeah, partly, and he was kind of new to the table, so he had no information about me. I had no information about him, and I was new to the game. So I was figuring, I was kind of thinking about what potential bluffs could there be here, and there were very, very few given how large I bet.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like an older dude or anything. He was a relatively younger dude. Seems like he knows what he's doing. And,
well, I mean, if he's a younger dude, I mean, listen, you're getting 2.5 to 1 here, right? You're getting 2.5 to 1. I mean, so you have to be good. I mean, you can just run it into a range calculator. I mean, you've got to be good probably like 28% of the time, right? 3 to 1's 25, 2 to 1's 33.
Yeah.
27 or 28% of the time, and it's just like, well, I would probably put in some combo draws. I mean, you're going to have 6 full sets, right? Fives and sevens. And those hands you're going to have, you do have some equity against fives and sevens, right? You have twice as much equity here against fives and sevens as if you had like, kings or aces, or you could be drawing dead if you had ace queen, right? Like if you had ace queen here, you'd be drawing dead against the set. So there's that. I mean, you're going to have maybe 8% equity. I mean, this is kind of like I would do sort of stove in my head. I would round it up to 10%. And the way that I would do this, I'd be like, all right, well, there's going to be 6 combinations of spots where I'm going to have 10% equity. And then can I find 3 combos of, say, combo draws where he might have 25% equity. So what I would look at is I would do, this is range in your head, stove in your head, I would look at and I would say, all right, well, there's twice as many combos of sets, and maybe of the combo draws, he's got 25% equity against my hand. So the way that you would average this is that you'd have 10% equity, 2 times as much as you'd have 75% equity. So I'd go 10 plus 10, 10 plus 10, which is your equity against the sets, plus 75, which is your equity against the combo draws. And we've weighted the sets twice as much. And now that's 95, and you divide by 3 to get the weighted average. So 95 divided by 3 would be, what, 31, right? 31% here. Now you can, so if he has that many combo draws, then it's going to be a call. Now you can go further down and you can say, all right, well, we'll just give him 2 combo draws. Well, now it's 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus, because it's 6 to 2, right? So it's 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 75. So now that's 105 divided by 4. And now you're at like 26, right? 26. So it's like, you got to come up with, you got to probably find 2 combo draws here. You know what I'm saying? You got to find 2 combo draws. Or is there ever a possibility that like he limps in with like queen 7 suited and he thinks he's slow playing? Is there ever a chance that he thinks he's slow playing something that's worse than queen jack on the turn as played? And the issue that I have with that is that he had so many people behind him on the flop that usually people are just going to raise off with 2 pair there, right? It's not like he's closing the action.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was a big part of why I kind of tank folded. That was my position there. And
I don't know if I could fold there in real. I don't know. Man, I've seen some weird shit go on in these Chinese games. I don't know if I could. I don't know. Well, also too, some people are saying, yeah, what about the queen X of diamonds and things like that? Again, I mean, I would say it's the queen X of diamonds. Well, queen X of diamonds or jack X of diamonds would be great hands for him to have, right? Because you've got queen jack. Because those would be combo draws that that he doesn't have what he thinks is the equity, right? Because you're blocking all the pair outs. But I don't know, man. I'd have a hard time folding this hand in Singapore, but I can see where you're going. Did you ever find out what he had?
I did. He ended up having ace of diamonds, queen of diamonds.
Oh no, that's the worst. That's the worst. Oh, that's terrible. That
ended up being the worst night of my entire life.
that sucks. That sucks. Wow. Yeah. I mean, and so obviously you've got a boatload of equity against that hand. I mean, I was just putting in the combo draws that had like 25% equity against you, but if he's going to have any queen X of diamonds in there, oh man, you're going to have to call, because he basically has almost like, well, he doesn't have a dry flush draw. He's got I guess he'd have what, 12? I guess he's got 12. I guess that still is 25%, right? Ace, queen, and diamond. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, actually, it's this. I wasn't thinking because he's got 3 outs to the ace. So I guess that is a combo draw that's 25%. And then I was looking at like the 8-9, the 9-10s, things like that, which are about. I was trying to average what the equity would be with a good combo draw, and that's how I came up with 25%. So that's how I was doing the sort of layered, stove in your head. But yeah, I mean, that's a tough one, man. But I appreciate the call. If you like what you've seen here, please hit the subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this call-in hand, hit the like button down below. To check out crushlivepoker.com, click on the link in the description. Use the code YTA300 to get the first 30 days for free.